Welcome, everyone. Another nooner. Love it. I feel very productive today. Very productive. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody's doing all right. As you can see, are you done? Thank you, Panda. Jesus. Anyway, as you can see, stop it, please. Thank you. As you can see, no, the pup didn't want to say hi. Pup was yelling at somebody walking across the back way here because she does that every single time, but wouldn't do anything even if she caught a hold of him. So as you can see, tickering across the screen here is information on an Amber Alert that was just issued. And TBI is not even playing around, man. I mean, this dude straight up kidnapped her, apparently. So obviously Cherry and the other mods are going to be sharing that information in the chat. So yeah, the Amber Alert, my TV got interrupted with this Amber Alert. So I'll go ahead and read it out loud. Tennessee Bureau of Investigation has issued an Amber Alert for 17-year-old Barbara Sanders out of Memphis. Okay, Barbara was abducted by Lafayette Lucky Miller, 39 years old. So if you live in Tennessee or anywhere in any surrounding states around Tennessee, please, if you have any information, if you see them, I don't have a picture to share right now, but if you go to the TBI's Twitter page, they have pictures. So please make sure to the description of her. Please make sure to call 1-800-TBI-FIND, as we all are big fans of the TBI and everything that they're doing in locating Summer Wells, despite the trashing of law enforcement that are in charge of Summer Wells by the people that I'm going to be talking about tonight, which you might have noticed the thumbnail. And don't give me any crap about the thumbnail, man. The thumbnail, listen, man, she's just eating an eggplant, dude. Okay? She's just eating an eggplant. All right? Nothing wrong with eating an eggplant. Problem is, eating eggplants is the only thing that I think that mouth is good for. And I'm going to get into why. And I'm kind of proud of the title, because that's what I'm calling these people, the Scooby Boob gang, because they do absolutely nothing. Like, if one of these people were like, hey, Scooby Doo gang, can I help you guys out in solving mysteries? Right? they would laugh at them. Like Scooby would be like it wouldn't, they wouldn't even like, it wouldn't even be a thing. Like these people are a joke. And at this point, it's so not even funny anymore because they have gone exponentially too far. And I find everything that they've been doing disgusting. But what we're going to talk about today is the most disgusting thing that I've ever seen any creator do so far as the real crime community, as far as the true crime community, because that's what they are. They're not real crime. They're true crime. We don't do true crime. Those people do true crime. We separate ourselves from true crime channels because that's what true crime has become. Nobody cares about the missing people. Nobody cares about the family, not in the true crime world, because that is what true crime has become. When you have the kind of influence that creators with that many subscribers have, it becomes dangerous. It becomes absolutely dangerous. And I'm going to get into exactly why. Good point. Good point, Sherry Thomas. Right. And there's a little bit more information. So you can call the Memphis PD at 901-528-CASH if you have information on Barbara Sanders. So I can't begin to describe how grossed out I am by Molly Golightly's behavior, by Bullhorn Boob. These people are disgusting idiots. Not to mention the Chad that that keeps tweeting nasty things about a victim's family. Now let me just get into the video because it's something else, man. It is something else.
Right. We found the
Now before I get into eggplant mouth here, and what she's saying. So this is during their visit to Rogersville, Tennessee, where they claim that they're investigating the Summer Wells disappearance, but they're not doing any such thing whatsoever. What they're doing is trying to dig up dirt on, and no pun intended here, they're trying to dig up dirt on Don Wells and Candace Bly, who happen to be Summer's parents. And Summer is a 5-year-old little girl, and she's gone missing, and she's been missing since June. And these people are they let me just play the video, and I'll be obviously commentating over it. So here they are at the grave, in a graveyard, and they are at the resting place of Don's parents. But more importantly, they are at the resting place of Summer's grandparents. Like it or not, that is the way we should all be looking at this. We should all be looking at this not as a disrespect so much, because it is absolutely disrespectful to Don. He hasn't done anything that we know of that deserves this kind of disrespect. But we know Summer has not done anything to deserve this kind of disrespect to her grandparents. So this is where they are right now, and let's listen to the stupidity that comes out of everybody's face that's here.
The goad. This is Don Wells' parents' grave, and it's located right at the end, and right in front of it is full of wood. Seems like wood.
It seems like wood. Does it seem like wood? It's wood. Geniuses.
Okay.
Okay.
This none of the other that we've seen, that we've passed, have this.
And
What does that mean?
it means nothing, morons. It means nothing. And this Chad over here taking pictures and video, and got to get that content. Got to get that content.
You know, maybe we're skeptical or superstitious or whatever you want to say, but
no, you're
There's
just a bunch of asshole
things
idiots.
that are happening
Is what you
today.
are.
Very odd.
There's nothing odd about that. There's nothing odd about that. And I'm just going to get it out of the way now. I want to get it out of the way.
Do you think
now,
that
if the morons, okay, if these morons, these jackasses, these boobs, okay, had done any homework on this case, if they had done any type of research on this case, you would know that Candace's mom likes to plant and garden. She likes to plant flowers. Okay? She likes to create little spots where they plant flowers. This is something that they like to do with Summer. Okay? If you did any type of research on this case, since you're such sleuths, and I'm not going to, fuck it. I'm not going to be monetized for this anyway. So I don't really give a shit at this point. So if you had done any fucking research on this case whatsoever, any at all, you would know that this is something very normal around their house. So it's not fucking abnormal or strange that there would be a structure where there's nothing there because it is wintertime, and they say that later. A simple fucking structure created to pay respects to Don's parents, but more importantly, Summer's grandparents. Jackasses.
Makeshift garden.
well, there was definitely a plant looking like in the middle of it, but the question is, why would they do that here? We get some people saying
because like
believe or
plant things stupid,
and that looks like the size of, you know, a little 5-year-old crunched up.
Well, if that were the case,
now I'm fucking pissed. Like, every time I watched this before, I was shaking then. I'm fucking shaking now. So what they're doing right now is implying that Don and or Candace murdered Summer and put her little 5-year-old body in that structure and buried her in that structure. That's what they're implying right now. They're basically accusing them of murder, first of all, when there's fucking no evidence against them. No evidence to indicate that they had done anything like that. Sorry about that. No evidence whatsoever to indicate that they had anything to do with Summer's disappearance. Zero. There's evidence of bad parenting, sure. But there's a lot of bad parents out there that aren't murderers. So right now, these bunch of fucking geniuses are standing around Summer's grandparents' grave, implying that this structure that was probably built there to show some respect for the memory of Don's parents, which, I mean, I see no reason why to think anything else. Absolutely no other reason to think anything else at all. Because if these people, it's real simple. They keep saying, summer's what matters. Summer's what's important. Summer's what matters, right? Finding summer is all that matters, right? Because they care about this little girl, right? Well, why would you go to her grandparents' resting place and desecrate it that way? Now, some of you are probably saying, well, they didn't desecrate anything. Desecrating means they went and spray painted or they vandalized it or whatever. No, let me explain to you what the purpose of a fucking resting place, of a graveyard, of a gravestone, and a burial spot for someone is. The purpose of it is to preserve their memory. You are desecrating their memory is what you're doing. And you have no right to do that because there are God knows how many people out there that miss them and cared for them. And you're desecrating that memory. And you have no regard for it whatsoever.
Case. Don't you think that they would have looked?
Not necessarily, because if you think about it,
No, they
let's
wouldn't have
for-
looked there,
let's-
jackass.
Let's play devil's advocate.
Okay.
So let's say, for example, that
This idiot.
they needed to do something with her body right away,
Oh my God.
and
Oh my God, she's so
they put her in.
shocked. She's so shocked, but she's the one creating and spreading rumors. But she's so fucking shocked.
The makeshift garden that they created at their house. They realized the officers didn't find her on the first thing.
So you are aware of the fact that they make makeshift gardens in their house, right? At their house, on the property. So you're fucking aware of that, but yet it doesn't cross your mind that they would do something nice for Don's parents in preserving their memory and honoring their memory. That wouldn't even fucking occur to you for 1 second, would it?
know they're going to be back. And we have discussed them possibly moving her. What if in the middle of the night they decided to come out here and place her here? Now, I did notice that there is residential property that can see what is going on here,
Right.
or could potentially, let's say potentially. But if you're not making a lot of noise and all you're doing is sneaking out here and digging, how much noise would you be making? You wouldn't be making much.
You know why they
So
wouldn't
you-
be
Are you telling me that
do
you think?
Do you want to know? I can answer that question for you, idiots. Do you want to know why they wouldn't be making noise? Because they didn't fucking do that. They didn't fucking do anything that you're implying that they did. And it is the shittiest fucking thing that I've ever heard of happening on YouTube for you to even imply it. The shittiest, without a doubt. Like, this is as low as I've seen any YouTuber go. Easily. As far as true crime, this is the lowest I've seen anyone do. You are now at critical case status. Congratulations. You are now straight up in critical case status. The only difference is critical K has 5 times the fucking brain capacity than all 4 of you idiots combined. As much as I hate to admit that. But I promise you, you're at asshole level where she is.
She could possibly be under these.
it is absolutely possible,
Unfucking real.
but probable.
Those 4 are dumb.
No.
That's Camoon.
Scenario.
There's 4 of them.
Possible. Anything's
That-
possible. But this, as soon as I saw it, gave me the EBGBs. I got to say, when I saw it walking up here.
That's because you're a fucking
Is
idiot.
this why everyone kept telling me to come here?
It very well may be.
Because I was like, what are we going there for?
Because no other grave has this.
And it looks like it's been freshly done.
Yeah, and it looked like they had a nice plant there, so it didn't look, it obscured it.
Yeah.
And then with the winter, the
How
plant
the
died
fuck
down.
do you
so
know
when
whether
us
it's
come
freshly
here, it looks
done or
awfully
not?
odd.
But wouldn't it
What are you,
smell?
I think 6 months later.
You a
of course.
fucking botanist?
No,
Okay.
babies decompose.
Oh my God. No.
I mean, I don't mean to sound callous, but I mean, I'm clinical when it comes to these Huh? I brought her to see what she thinks. What this is.
No, I agree with canceling people over shit like this. I don't agree with that. Like, if canceling is going to happen, I believe in canceling happening because canceling happening in the form of people realizing what shitbags they are, and then they go, you know what, I'm not supporting this shit anymore. Because the truth is that's who I'm trying to reach. I'm trying to reach the morons who listen to this shit and take it like they're doing some good in the world when they're not. This was nothing but a stupid fucking PR stunt. They had the means and the funds to travel. And so they went out to Rogersville. They secretly filmed without permission. They secretly filmed without permission a conversation with the Hawkins County Sheriff's, with a few Hawkins County Sheriff's officers in the office. Which totally, they screwed themselves, but they don't care. They don't care. But because if they were interested in actually getting information that would lead to Summer's recovery or information as to what happened to her, well, then what they would do is they would try to preserve a decent relationship with the local law enforcement agencies. Why wouldn't they do that? It's because they don't give a fuck about Summer. They don't care anything about Summer. What they're there to do is get publicity and nothing else. And what they're doing is muddying the waters when it comes to the investigation, A, and B, completely and totally disrespecting not only the integrity of this investigation, not only getting people, the large audience that they have, not only leaning them towards a side where it's going away from what's important. What's important is actually finding her. But they are focused on nothing but the drama, and they are focused on doing nothing but stirring up bullshit. But what it does also is it shits all over the integrity of why some of us who actually do care do this. Because we actually care about finding missing people. We actually care about their families. We actually care about what happens as far as these investigations go, because we want closure and justice for these families. What we don't do is take half-cocked theories and smear a family that is grieving over the loss of their child and smear their name, smear their image. Now, I'll give you this. Don and Candace are doing a pretty good job of smearing their own image, but not as murderers. They haven't done anything to indicate that they had anything to do with Summer's disappearance. They've done nothing to indicate that. You simply jump right into a conclusion and have no regard whatsoever as to what kind of damage that's causing people.
I've never seen anything like that, and I wonder if they did it without permission.
And on top of that, you go over there and then you manipulate some local news station to fluffing you up like you're doing some good. And then guess what? Now the local sheriff's department won't even talk or give comments to that local news station, because the sheriff's department actually did their homework on your dumbasses and your stupid Springer-like live streams where you're yelling and bickering at each other and completely making a fucking joke and mockery out of a missing girl's investigation. So now what you did was completely and totally make all of us YouTubers who actually give a shit, you made us clowns.
Permission, because to do to open any hole here, you have to have permission. I wonder if they even know about this.
Well, it looks to me like when we came here, there was some leaving and stuff like
You know,
that.
if it
Like
wasn't
somebody,
the shittiest thing ever, if it wasn't the shittiest thing ever, I wish a part of me, just a little part of me, wishes that they would actually dig that shit up. Not them, especially them. Dig that shit up, find nothing, and then look like the biggest bunch of shit bags to ever hit the internet. That would, I would get some satisfaction out of that, because I guarantee you that there's no fucking way that Summer is in there. And they know she's not in there. They know she's not. All they're doing is disrespecting the memory of those two people laying to rest who had nothing to do with any of this. That whole rest in peace thing, you're fucking that up for them. They're not resting in peace when you're stomping all over their grave, accusing their son of burying their 5-year-old granddaughter after murdering her, and implying that she's crunched up in that little space. And you have no regard for how fucking disgusting that is.
put a plant there and tried to obscure with the the landscape.
Listen to this moron.
Decor. But see, it's cold now, so that plant that they planted has now died,
You think?
making it stand out like a sore thumb. You see what I'm saying?
But let me see.
Right,
Here
because,
the-
you know,
the real estate here is very
let's make
high,
it stand out like a sore
you know?
thumb so somebody can find her body, right?
Price.
Fucking
Sometimes
geniuses.
It's, it's very pricey. I wonder if they even went beyond the
And
scale
who
that
the
we
fuck
have
is
for
this?
thing. And nobody here has planted anything.
Now there's 5 of them.
And I just don't see Candace being this decorative.
Wow.
No.
Does this seem like something that, with everything that we know from Candace, Molly?
No, it seems like something Candace's mother would do, because she does it all over the fucking property, you stupid fucking moron.
Wait, this is Dawn's mom.
This is Dawn's parents right here.
Right, but they the reason why we were brought here is because people said all of a sudden he never cared about him before, and all of a sudden he started coming out here.
11 years ago. She was together with him 11 years ago.
No.
Yeah, I think
This is
that's how he got
beyond
the property. I think that was
speculation.
their
Let me
property.
correct that,
And
because
he,
somebody in chat just said pure speculation. This is beyond speculation. This is making bullshit up and slander. That's what this is. Making bullshit up and slander. But more importantly, desecrating the memory of two people who had nothing to do with any of this, and disrespecting anyone who cared for them. And I mean anyone, not just Dawn. Anyone who cared for them, you're disrespecting their memory. You're screwing up their memory. You're fucking with it.
He was with that woman 11 years ago. They got together. They got together 11 years ago.
His parents, if they
No,
were
no, no,
together.
no. He and the his wife.
Dawn and I don't know how long they've been together for. I have no
Who
idea.
cares?
Stand.
So got a little heated there. I'm probably still going to be heated. Sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry. So what really gets to me is these people have no regard whatsoever for anything other than publicity. And what really bothers me is people are funding this. People are giving them money. So, and by screwing up, by basically screwing up the relationship between Channel 11 and the Hawkins County Sheriff's Department. By doing that, you fucked us out of getting any information, because that's the only news source that's actually providing any information on Summer's whereabouts or what could have possibly happened to her, or the investigation, especially the investigation that's taking place finding her. You fucked us out of getting any credible information. This is why this type of thing is damaging, and nobody wants to acknowledge it, because you bunch of assholes that are subscribed and promote and fund shitheads like Molly Golightly, shitheads like Bullhorn Betty. You guys are contributing to the rest of us not getting any. You're contributing to the rest of us not getting any credible information. And I will never forgive you for that. We deserve better. There are those of us who actually care. We deserve better. People like you make a joke out of someone who's actually missing. You make a mockery of it. Now, German lady made a video, and I'm going to go ahead and show you why these people and what they do is dangerous. And she tagged me in it, so I'm sure she doesn't mind me using it and showing it. Now, if Springer episodes get on your nerves, you might want to log off, because this is exactly what this sounds like. This is what they've turned true crime into. This is what's happened to true crime, people, because these videos that she puts out have tens of thousands of views. People promote this shit. People support this shit.
We can ship them directly to our hotel.
Yeah.
Yep. Are we all in agreement?
You know what, Bombshell? You are on my last fucking nerves.
Look at
I
them.
saw that
They're
fucking
already
comment you
turning
left
on each
me.
other.
How dare you?
All of this was a prelude to this bullshit. This was all just a prelude. It was all a ruse, going to Tennessee and doing all that bullshit. They purposely were controversial. That's what makes it that much worse. They don't believe that Summer's in there. They don't fucking believe that. They just went in there, disrespected somebody's resting place, just so it would come to this, so that she could have live streams with more drama, because she's a fucking drama channel.
Yeah.
So now
Stop
they
it.
turn on each other.
Bombshell. You cursed me out because we went on a lead to go to that gravesite. That was a place we needed to see. You act as if we showed up with shovels and dug it up.
Guys, this is about a 5-year-old girl, and I don't care
The
how offended you guys get by my actions. I really don't
I'm not
care.
offended.
I can honestly tell you that.
I'm
Be
offended for the
offended.
people that you've
Exactly.
offended.
I don't care. It's a 5-year-old girl.
And you don't give a fuck about that 5-year-old
You're part of
girl,
the
you piece
problem,
of
not the
Yeah,
solution.
she did. And the thing is, I've been cool with Bombshell for the past year. And then all of a sudden, she left that comment. And I said, that cannot be Bombshell Reloaded. But she told me off, and I said, you know what, Bombshell? Do something with your fucking life. How dare you talk to me and my team and say that this is the lowest you've ever seen me go, that we've gone too far, blah, blah, blah. How dare you?
They say it can heal all wounds.
That's because, of course, there's
But
ads.
for no one.
There's ads.
We haven't gone far enough. We haven't gone far enough. The
Yeah.
5-year-old kid is missing.
Surface.
We haven't gone far enough, she says, because it's all about that clout. It's all about getting those views. It's what this is all about. It's not about finding a little girl. Do you see anywhere any information regarding what you see when that banner comes down, that highlighted comment comes down? You're going to see something asking for money. You're not going to see any information on a missing child. Not a fucking thing. I have yet to see that.
We're just getting started, sweetheart.
Just getting started. So if you're offended by the actions we've done so far, you're going to be surely offended moving forward. I can promise you that. I'm just warming up.
Stay tuned for more drama.
Summer
will be very
Neither one of us going to be proud of.
I'm 100% humble with my life and 100% humble with who I am.
Yeah, you said more than it was disrespectful.
And that's fucking
I
scary.
just dropped the link. Why don't you come up here and tell me to my face exactly what you said? How dare you, of all people, judge my...
And how is going to a gravesite disrespectful?
We didn't do anything. That was a lead. That was something that we needed to see. According to many
No,
people.
that's something you needed to report to the police.
You didn't know where they were.
All of a sudden started
If it was the lead, you should have reported it to law enforcement and left it at that.
Thing that's been there for a couple of months, and because guess what? Where you stand.
Let me repeat that just in case I wasn't heard. What you should have done is reported that to law enforcement. If that was an actual valid lead, you should have reported it to law enforcement. The people charged with the responsibility, the professionals, the trained professionals charged with the responsibility of locating Summer, not you bunch of idiots. Because guess what? Because if that was a real lead, you were stomping all over fucking evidence, you morons. You were contaminating a crime scene, you fucking idiots.
Where that grave is, there's lots of houses.
Yep.
Straight shot view of that cemetery. Straight shot view. And I remember specifically thinking, look at all the houses that could see how many times he has been up here.
And quite frankly, we weren't disrespectful at all. We didn't do anything wrong. We took a couple
dig it
pictures
up?
of the gravesite. You know, it's no different than going and seeing my uncle at a gravesite and having to see everybody else's grave along the way. I don't understand how it was disrespectful in the least. We weren't trampling on graves.
This is the lowest. Where's the link?
Good thing
Right
I just
here.
spent 30
And
minutes
I'm not
explaining
gonna
why it was
scream
fucking
you, but I wanna
disrespectful, you
hear
jackass.
How it sounds like you're on the hating side instead of Bombshell. I don't know if you have kids or not, and I know you're not into true crime, and I know you don't care about Summer Wells at all. But
I'm glad. First of all, I'm glad they're their true colors and going at each other, because if this was really about Summer, they would have been working in concert. There's no reason why they would have ended up on a public argument like that. But I want to address something. What if Marissa, Molly Golightly, what if her child went missing? God forbid. What if her child went missing? And people decided to start digging up dirt on her. All of a sudden, people start saying she did it with no evidence to indicate whether or not she did. And then every single dirty thing that she's ever done comes up, and her name is dragged through the mud while she's having to deal with the grief of a missing child. I wonder if the tables were turned because she is a mother. I wonder. What if? And I'm not judging her for this. I'm just using it as an example, because I've had my moments. I've had plenty of my embarrassing moments where I've humiliated myself. I'm not judging her for that. But what if when she went to New Orleans, got drunk and pilled out, and then got arrested, and all that was filmed, by the way, that video's out there of her making a complete and total ass of herself that she probably doesn't remember because she was so intoxicated. What if that incident was what everyone based their judgment on? and use that to accuse her of being an irresponsible mom. And if she's such an irresponsible mom, well, then she had to have done something to her missing child. And I want to be clear. I'm not judging her for her actions as far as that goes. I'm judging her for these actions, but not those. Because I've had my humiliating moments, my self-humiliating moments. When BX Bitch Boy decided to use that and throw it up in her face, I defended her. And I shared a mugshot of his because he's nobody to throw stones. I'm nobody to throw stones. Not for that. But what she's doing is disgusting and not even taking any consideration if the tables were turned and it was her.
You want to know something? I do. We do. And for you to sit on your fucking ass and just watch and leave your little fucking comment, a degrading comment.
Well, let her tell you.
I don't like it.
You know, let her tell you.
What the
because-
fuck
No,
is
I
this
didn't
guy?
like where it came from.
Well, she's on here for a reason.
Just shh, please.
Look how
I
she treats
gave her the
people,
freaking.
dude.
It's not disrespectful to walk over a grave. Were we dancing on
Yeah,
the grave?
it is.
Absolutely
It's
not.
absolutely
Were we digging up the
disrespectful.
grave? Absolutely
For
not.
the purposes you were doing,
We
sir,
wanted to-
it is absolutely disrespectful to walk over a grave for the purpose of which you were doing so. It is 150,000% disrespectful.
Find that grave, and when Bullhorn Betty found it, she said, "Whoa, what is this?" And yes, we did think, could it be a potted plant? And then we come to find out that Don had spent quite a bit of time there in the last few months, and then abruptly stopped.
So Don's being judged for spending more time. Did it ever occur to you? Did it ever occur for 1 second? And I know it didn't, so I'm going to fucking enlighten you. Molly Unlightened. I'm going to fucking enlighten you. Okay? Did it ever occur to you? And I mean, I got to stop asking that because I know it didn't. That Don is all of a sudden feeling nostalgic and trying to not take for granted loss now that he's experienced his daughters being missing. Now that he's experiencing this, his 5-year-old little girl's missing, that maybe he's spending more time visiting his parents' grave because he doesn't want to take life for granted anymore. He doesn't want to take the lives of his loved ones for granted anymore and feels like maybe he has been. Because that would fucking require empathy, which you clearly don't have any of. And you're a life coach? This woman calls herself a life coach. It's unbelievable.
We follow every single lead.
Well,
Every time somebody
He
sends us
thinks
a
that's
lead.
the worst. She thinks that's the lowest thing that I can't get any lower.
Oh hell. You know, if you're offended by that, I've done a lot worse than go to a grave.
I see what you're saying, but you have a very low tolerance on what's offensive or not. So just leave it be, because some people think it's helpful, and some people think that maybe it's sad. Maybe you would feel it was sad, and I agree. I could have at one point, if it was my child, I wouldn't want to be at my daughter's grave time. I see it.
We didn't know. We're looking for her. We
This
don't
is-
know
yeah.
if she's there.
Yeah, so this isn't that. This is something that you have to leave your oversensitivity behind if you're going to go on this channel.
And people wanted to know, oh, why didn't you talk to the caretaker? There was no one there.
Whoever this fucking idiot is, like he looks like he bought a beard at a fucking costume shop and slapped it on. It's weird. Whoever he is saying that people are and he's underplaying somebody's feelings about what they did, that they're being overly sensitive about it. No, it's called simple, basic empathy for others, because you wouldn't want it happening to you, you fucking asshole. Nobody's being overly sensitive about this because they're calling you out on exactly what you did and how it affects others. That's not people being overly sensitive. That's you being grossly insensitive. There is a huge difference.
Nobody.
You think we didn't look? You didn't think we didn't want to ask? Why is this the only grave that
We would have loved to know why it was there and when it was placed.
when it was
there.
put? Yeah.
Yeah.
We had questions. But no one has a problem when anybody else goes. But when it's me,
No, that's not the next Slavia boy. That dude's in a class of his own, man. I don't think anybody can touch that dude's level. That dude is on his own level of douchery.
they have a problem.
I don't know if she's looking like target towards you. Is that what she said?
Wouldn't it have been better if I asked JL or Andrew to just stream it and how about you give me all your videos and I'll put it on my channel and I'll get all the likes and the views and all the super chats. No, I don't do it that way.
No, our
You
team,
don't?
we share
Look at
everything. So it doesn't
Cash
matter.
App, Molly Go Lightly,
But you're still part
LLC.
of the
Please
team. I
support
mean, I
our
can't
next
imagine
trip to
telling you to sit
Tennessee.
in the car because
PayPal, Molly
some
Go
people on your
Lightly,
channel might be offended.
LLC at
Sorry, we set the
gmail.com.
bar a little higher for the true crime community. Sorry.
Yep.
Now it's either talk the talk or walk the fucking walk.
Here she is.
Okay.
Can you show your video, please?
You know what I consider walking the walk? Doing some research on the case, actually learning something about it, and walking the walk, because if you actually want justice, you go about it responsibly. And going about it responsibly means, okay, now if you want to interview somebody, that's cool. Nobody's saying not to do that. If you want to interview somebody, that's cool. But walking the walk when your objective is to locate Summer Wells, a 5-year-old little girl that's been missing since June, then what you would do is you would collect information. Sure, you want to be a sleuth? Cool. But responsible internet sleuths, because they are out there, responsible internet sleuths collect information and then they report it to law enforcement. They don't go and contaminate potential crime scenes. Since you think it's a crime scene, I know it's not a crime scene. I know for a fact it's not a crime scene. Well, not for a fact, but I'm willing to bet my balls on it. I'm willing to bet my balls that Summer is not in there. Report it to law enforcement if you have a credible lead. Report it to the people that are charged with the responsibility, who are trained professionals when it comes to finding missing children.
I can hear you.
Are you done now?
I want to hear what you have to say.
Springer.
I don't have a problem telling you
This
what
is
I have to say.
This is what
You
a
say
Springer
what you need to
episode would
say,
look
sweet.
like during the worst parts of COVID. All on a fucking Zoom call or a StreamYard call. This is what a Springer episode would look like, during COVID. That's all this is. Pure drama.
Heart.
When I saw you at that grave, it triggered me, Molly. I can't help it. I don't have my parents. And first of all, I didn't know the whole situation, okay? And it wasn't explained. Second of all, don't tell me what I care about and what I fucking don't care about.
You don't care
because
about
I
them.
have been over there taking up for you all.
No, you
So
haven't.
don't say shit.
Look,
No, you
it's
haven't.
all about them.
This is my thing. is that
Let me finish. Y'all had enough to
Hey!
say.
Listen
You
to
had
this
enough
shit.
to say before I
You
came
don't
Listen
over
to
here.
this
You let
farce.
me
You're
finish.
yelling, my friend.
Calm down.
I'm not
Calm
trying to
down.
be rude to anyone.
Just calm down. Let's listen to you. Go ahead. We invited you. We'll respectfully give you a chance. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And the reason why I said it was disrespectful because it was a grave. That's why. I
Hence,
didn't say anything else other than that.
one day
sit
I'll
on my
be
channel.
one day you
Let
will.
me
Hence,
finish. I didn't sit on my channel and berate you either.
Somebody answer me a fucking question, please. Watching this, right? Because they're real quick to call Don and Candace low class, right? Watching this, what's the difference between them? Looking at this, right? What's the difference between them? The difference is Don and Candace have been respectful to anybody that they've graced them with an interview. because they don't have to give interviews. They don't have to talk to you. Now, do we think they talk a little too much? Yeah, sure. Not denying that. But what's the difference between what I'm watching here and whatever the hell they accuse Don and Candace of being? What is the difference? I'm not seeing any difference. Meanwhile, these people are throwing stones at these people for how they live.
I wouldn't care if you fucking did. You left
Then
a
don't
nasty
sit there and
comment.
tell
I told
me
you
I
to do
said all
something
these
you like.
crazy things, Molly. It's bullshit.
What's bullshit?
And I have been over there taking up for all of you. What are you talking about?
Where have you been taking up for all of
In
us?
my goddamn live streams, Molly.
Why are you talking about us? You never talked about Summer Wells before. Have you?
Sweet Jesus. This was like 2 weeks ago that I started talking about how fucked up it is what they're doing. What are you talking about?
And for the record, like I said, Summer's been missing since June. There are those of us that since she went missing, we've been talking about it and sharing information, sharing updates on the investigation. I have. Go back and watch my content. Go back to June on my channel, and you will see numerous live streams in an attempt to actually spread information in hopes to finding this young girl. They haven't done that. They jumped on a bandwagon. They jumped on a bandwagon because they saw opportunity. They said, oh, well, the parents are talking to everybody. We can use that. We can get content out of that. Let's all get together and make a drama channel super group and travel there and call ourselves sleuths, call ourselves investigators. Is this how investigators behave? Is this how people whose main concern is finding a 5-year-old girl, is this how they behave? God help us if that's the case.
Because you don't watch it doesn't mean that I haven't talked about it.
Liar.
Well, I think this is my suggestion. I just think, that everybody needs to get all the facts before they start jumping to conclusions.
think?
I'll agree with
I
that.
love that.
I'll agree with that, right?
I love
And
that.
I'm not an unreasonable person. I'm not an unfair person.
Bullhorn Boob just said that they should get all the facts. Now, what she's referring to is them. But if you're going to cover a missing child's case, missing person's case, a murder, whatever, if you're going to do that, well, yeah, collect all your facts first. Collect all your facts. Because if everybody collected all the facts, right? If everybody collected all the facts of this case, these four, and they actually cared about this child, they wouldn't be on a live stream bickering at each other. They would say, this is ridiculous. This is about a kid. They would not be concerned with one person talking trash about the other. They wouldn't have any concern about that. They would only be concerned with Summer's whereabouts, and they would be working in concert.
Person either.
You are.
But saying that I'm sitting there like saying things that I'm not saying is just not going to fly. Like, I don't have a problem with you, Molly, and I said that as well. But coming from somebody who just lost their parent, right? And I don't have either one of them, it just triggered me. That's all.
You
And
triggered.
that's all. And literally, that's all.
These are the people that local news station fluffed up and called internet sleuths. Now, self-proclaimed, they they disclaimed it like that, but they still fluffed them up. They still promoted them. Like, I actually emailed them. I emailed them when I saw a news clip that was talking about Summer Wells from that news station, and I emailed them because I knew that they were planning on going there. Well, I knew Molly was, and I emailed them and I was like, please be careful. I actually warned them. As a matter of fact, I could find the email if you want. But I actually warned them.
Oh, I said. I
Weeks
thought it
ago.
was
No, that's not what you
disrespectful.
said.
I
Your
thought it was
comments is
disrespectful.
on my wall.
And then you said it looks like there is a 5-year-old crumpled up right there. Did you say that or not?
I did not say that. That was not me.
I said I when I was on her.
So okay,
video,
so where? Because I didn't see anything that looked that way.
I'm just saying when we walked
All
up
right.
to
I
the
didn't see anything
gravesite.
that looked like crumpled up a child, 5-year-old child that was crumpled up.
We,
there.
it,
No, I believe what she said is that she
Taken
could.
up.
I think that
At
the
the end of
point
the day,
is that
I'm allowed to have an opinion about a gravesite.
It's a little much.
Idiots.
I think that the point is
Just
that
how closely do you think that they?
fuck out of
do
here.
you remember how John JLR brought up the fact about Rosemary Bly being
Idiots.
potentially buried under the driveway, a concrete driveway? What's the
What?
potentials that if there is a body that's disposed underneath a freshly poured foundation at the Meadows where
I think
Dawn was
it's very
working?
possible.
It's possible.
Do you know how much time they've
Like
had
they're
to
trying to
move
cookie
this
cutter
body?
what happened to
Anything is
Rosemary
possible.
Bly's
And I
situation
wasn't trying to
to this. Like
disrespect
it's just
anybody on
The
the
way
planet.
you said it was pretty friggin' nasty. It was nasty.
Molly, do you
Like,
really think that going to a
Unbelievable
grave,
that they're
I mean,
worried
what
about their
belief
own
that went to the
feelings
grave?
here.
Jonathan Lee Riches had received.
Stop acting like that, Molly. Just answer the question.
I'll answer the question because I know the
Thank you.
information.
Okay.
So Jonathan Lee Riches received a report from one of his followers that that's in the area that Don Wells started recently going to his mother's grave. But he never cared about his mom for years and years and years, and then started going there, putting flowers there, and asked us to please go check it out. They sent us a picture of the gravesite, told us where it was, and we said while we were down
Okay.
there, it couldn't hurt for us to check it out, which we did.
Thank you.
you could
Let me read this to you guys. Okay. Very important. All right. Now, I'll go ahead and share it. As a matter of fact, I'll share it so you can see. And I think we've had enough of that. I think we don't need to hear anymore. The point's been made. They don't give a shit about Summer. The point's been made. But I want you guys to see an email that I sent this news station. Okay. Hold on. This is to WJHL News, Channel 11. All right. And it says right here, hello, my name is Will. I'm a content creator on YouTube. My channel is called The Glarer. I mostly cover crime, missing persons cases. I mostly focus on trying to keep the focus on the facts of the case and warn the YouTube community of how creators who are simply looking for clicks and views will spread misinformation, focus on, even spread rumors and victims' families, but mostly do or say things that may muddy the waters of the official investigation that is taking place. As you must know, Don and Candace have been making very careless appearances on various YouTube channels. And I am also of the understanding that you may be speaking to some content creators after the Dr. Phil program. I simply ask that you please be very careful who you speak to and air that. For the sake of future open missing persons crime cases, it would be a shame if these channels who care nothing about these victims or their families platforms grow because a credible news source who has been fantastic in covering this unfortunate incident gave them publicity, which would imply their own credibility. Please make sure to look at their content objectively with the mindset of what's best for these victims and their families. I truly hope that this email finds you well, as I am a local admirer of your news team here in Knoxville. Thank you for taking the time to read this, and hope you'll strongly consider my humble request. Below is the link to a stream I recently did on this very subject. So that was dated November 10th. This was just after the Don Wells and Candace Wells incident on Molly Golightly's channel. That complete and total dumpster fire. And after I saw that, I saw that they were considering this is when they actually aired. Okay, this is, my memory's refreshed now. This is when that news station aired an interview, a brief interview with Don, where he basically apologized for making careless choices on making appearances on YouTube channels and in social media, because of what happened, where he was intoxicated and he had a very, very disgusting fight with Candace, where it's allegedly believed that he hit Candace at some point there. Now, after seeing that, after they aired that interview, right? The anchor who was handling the Summer Wells thing, who was a correspondent with the actual anchor, sorry, not the anchor, but the correspondent, was saying, soon we'll be talking to some of these internet sleuths and what they've been doing in hopes to find Summer. And I was like, they're going to fluff this shit up. So I was inclined to send that email on November 10th. That was a month ago, guys. That was a month ago. Did they read the email? Maybe. Did they take it to heart in any way, shape, or form? No, obviously not. Because now exactly what I was afraid of happening happened. A lot of people like her. She's a likable personality, you know? I mean, she's big juicy. You know what I'm saying? She's big juicy. So she's a likable personality. Hell, before this started, I liked her. I did. But this is deplorable. This is deplorable. I don't know, Annie, if you want to see me yell and cuss, then yeah, go ahead and rewind it. But yeah, I mean, I'm a little chilled out now because I'm not watching the shitty footage that I saw. I mean, who does that, man? Who does that? Like, I've never seen that before. You actually go to a victim's grandparents' gravesite and accuse the parents of burying their daughter, who we don't even know is dead yet. We honestly don't. Now, in all fairness, Candace and Don believe that she's dead. They've lost hope. They consider themselves realists, and they say, you know, and sure, is that something that we're used to seeing? Absolutely not. Is it a valid red flag to a lot of people? Sure, I get it. But I can't help until I get evidence, right? I can't help but play devil's advocate and say, well, probably the reason why they lost hope is because another missing person went missing in their family. Another family member went missing in their family and was never found. And this was what, over 20 years ago? So I don't see, you know, I don't see it being so hard to believe until I get evidence that these people had something to do with their daughter's disappearance, I'm not going to judge them and drag them through the mud. And I'm definitely not going to judge them on their lifestyle. Now, it's fair to say, are they questionable parents, to say the least? Sure. I won't deny that. I won't deny that in the slightest bit. But I'm not going to sit here and say that automatically somehow makes them murderers when we don't even know that she's dead. I'm just not going to do that. Until we have enough evidence, then I'm going to assume that these people are grieving, and they're grieving in their own way. And maybe not in a way that you might, but they're definitely grieving. I'm seeing nothing but behavior from people who are grieving. Do people get intoxicated when they grieve? Do people get short-tempered when they grieve? Do they act irrationally when they grieve? Do they feel sorry for themselves when they grieve? Doesn't make them murderers, man. Makes them people. Makes them people that are different than you. All right. That's about my rant right there, guys. Thanks for sitting through that. I really appreciate it. I know I saw a super chat earlier, and I normally admire or acknowledge them, but I was in the middle of kind of being on fire there, and I didn't feel appropriate to cut it off. But thank you for that super chat. I really do appreciate it. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and call it. And I love you guys very much. And you know, people who are subscribed to these channels, man, people, please see through it. You know, if you're into drama, you know, cool, admit it. But don't do it under the guise of saying that you care about Summer Wells. Don't be fooled and say that these drama channels, who are absolutely and totally being completely disrespectful, jumping to conclusions, making very irresponsible speculations, and drawing very irresponsible conclusions with no law enforcement training, with no investigative training whatsoever. Please use your common sense and at least acknowledge that they're drama. And if you want to support drama, cool, knock yourself out. I'm not denying that, but don't do it under the guise of them caring for a missing child, because every action indicates that that is not the case. There is no action coming from these people that indicate that they care about a missing child. None. I'm asking you, as those subscribers, to be able to tell the difference. And like I said, if you want to support drama, cool, but don't fool yourself into thinking that that's somehow a benefit to a missing child, because it's not. Because if they wanted you to actually contribute to finding, because that's that's a massive audience. That is a huge, massive audience. Yet I've never once heard them share any information. I've never once seen them or heard them share Summer's description. Not once. But what I do see are Cash App links, PayPal links. And like I said, if you want to contribute to the drama, cool, man. But don't do it under the guise that it's to find Summer, because they're not doing it. They're not doing it. And to sit here and act like the rest of us aren't doing anything because we're not over there in Rogersville, Tennessee, stomping all over what they say is a crime scene. Like, you're going to sit there and tell me that that's a crime scene and try to convince me that that's a crime scene, and you're walking all over it. What? Come on, man. Use your common sense, people. If you sit there and watch ID channel all day, then you should know better. Anyways, guys, I love you very much, and we will do this again very soon, my friends.